So last week, this was the homework. Many of you have done it. All right. So convert the following into past tense, and hopefully you have understood the meaning of all the words here. That is the first important thing. Gayakaha Geetam Gayati. So somebody can start with what Gayakaha Geetam Gayati, what that means, and what is the past tense form of that sentence. Sentence means only the Kriyapadam or the verb. We want to convert that into a past tense form. And the past tense form, we looked at that last few classes.
Vivekanand here. Gayakaha Geetam Gayati. The singer sings a song. Now Gayati, I make it will be Geetavan. The singer sang a song.
Yeah. So here in the list, there is a list. This is a list of few verbs, about 50 or so. There are verbs here, and different forms are given. One is like patatu, kridatu, like the order or the praying kind of thing. And then there is a present tense form, which we know already. For example, I think there is a Gayati also here. No?
I don't think there is Gayati here.
Yeah, it is there. Gai.
Oh, I couldn't find it.
Okay, 100. Last one. Gai, Gayatu is a order or prayer. And then Gayati, present tense singular, ekavachanam gayanti, bahuvachanam gayami, uttama purusha aham gayami, then vayam gayamaham. Then there is a past participle format. This is a noun format, which we discussed last time. This is not the past tense as such, like gayatu or gayati. Those are the verbs, but this is not a verb. This is a past participle format, which can be used in a past tense sentence. So Geetavan, so Saha Balakaha Gayakaha Geetam Geetavan. If you add Asti, it becomes Geetavan Asti. Means the singer has sung the song. And then in the plural it becomes Geetavantaha. These two are the what form? Pullinga form, because this is a noun. And the Geetavati, Geetavatyaha is a Strilinga form, Ekavachanam and Bahuvachanam form. So if it is Strilinga of Gayakaha, Gayaka has Pullinga word, so that is why we can change this Gayati to Geetavan. If it is Strilinga Gayika, then it becomes Geetavati. Gayika, Geetam, Geetavati. And similarly, if it is Bahuvachanam, then it becomes depending on the Linga again. So Gayakaha, Geetam, Geetavantaha. Gayikaha, Geetam, Geetavatyaha. So that way it changes. Now there is a Bhavishyat Kala or future tense form is also given in Ekavachanam and Bahuvachanam here. Dvivachanam is not given here, but it exists. It does exist. Just for simplicity, it is not given here. So, Gayakaha Geetam Gasyati is, these are the actual verbs. These are not the Kriyapadam, sorry, not the nouns. These are the actual Kriyapadam. So you can look at this list here and then write the sentences which are given in the homework. So in the past participle format. So the second one, Giovanni, can go second sentence, Balika. Can you read this? Giovanni?
Sorry, yes, I was trying to unmute myself. Okay, Balika Sangeetam Shrunoti. So Sangeetam actually I found should mean music.
Yeah,
Am I right? Yeah, music. So the girl listens to music. That's the meaning. Balika Sangeetam Shrutavati.
Yes, Shrutavati.
Shrutavati.
Yes, correct. Because Balika is Strilinga Shabda, Strilinga word, Balika.
Yeah, so goes female Strilinga. Yeah.
The past participle noun becomes Shrutavati in singular. Geetavati, Shrutavati in singular. Now, let's continue and finish this. Then I would like to add something to it. Okay, the next one. Also, you can read. Yeah.
Should I do the next one too?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sarvatra Vrishtihi Bhavati. Yeah, Sarvatra Vrishtihi Bhavati. Sarvatra Vrishti Abhavat.
So what is the meaning? Sarvatra, we know the meaning.
Yes, the should mean the rain is everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
The rain is everywhere, or the rain happens everywhere. Yeah. So
for Bhavati, I only use Abhavat.
Yes.
Right. But you cannot use the other form for Bhavati, right?
Yeah. So Bhavati, there is another form. Another form is this past participle form is there, which is like Bhutavat, like Bhutavan, Bhutavati. So I can write it.
So it could be used.
It can be used, but this kind of usage, Bhutavan, is extremely rare. Bhutavan, Bhutavati. So that's why we do not use it, though it is not incorrect. It can be used. But Abhavat is very common, Abhavat, which is a direct past tense form. So in Vrishtihi, remember Vrishtihi is a Strilinga word. So if you want to use some past participle in that with Vrishtihi, it has to be Strilinga. For example,
so it's
Patati. Let's say Patati is falling, right? So Sarvatra Vrishtihi Patati. Suppose this is the word. So how do we convert this into past participle?
Vrishtihi Patitavati.
Patitavati. So these words are also in the list here. Patita, Pata. These common words are already here. So you can look up here. Another way to look up is in the dictionary. But in the dictionary, you need to know the root word first, the verb root. To look up suppose this something, some Kriya Padam is not in this list. So if you can go to the Dhatu Kosha of the dictionary of verbs, there are many. This is not a single dictionary of words. This is a generic word. Dhatu Kosha means collection of or a dictionary of words. In that, the words are listed by in the order of verb roots. If you want, I can show you one example. Let me open the screen. Dhatu kosha. So this is one of the dhatu koshas available. I mean, we can find this. I have downloaded link on the blog site also. We can find it elsewhere like archive.org, etc. But this is a bit old one, but this is quite useful. So in this, you see how this is listed. It starts with the like in the Devanagari script, A, E. In that order, in this particular book, they are verb roots are listed like that, alphabetically by Devanagari script, like A, E, etc. But in some dhatu koshas, the order will not be alphabetical. They will be by the dhatu patha of Panini order. Panini has his original dhatu patha. It is called dhatu patha. It's not dhatu kosha. Panini's collection is called dhatu patha. Dhatu patha means always it is Panini's collection of verb roots. That verb root collection of Panini's, which is dhatu patha, does not have the meanings of all these different forms. It is just a collection. And how he has collected is, he has collected in the order of different, he has grouped the dhatus into 10 groups, 10 different groups which are called dhatu gana. Gana means group. So group of verb roots. So 10 groups he has collected, so they appear in that order and they are not alphabetical. So it may be difficult, to look up the verb roots there, though the dhatu koshas who list the dhatus or the verb roots in the order or based on the dhatu ganas or groups, they have the index at the end in which the alphabetical list will be there. So it is like first you have to look into the look up the verb in the or the dhatu in the index at the end, and then look up the page number. But some dictionaries like this, they directly rearrange the verb roots alphabetically, which is much easier to look up. So, for example, the first verb you look up here is ancha. So here the script or the style is a little different. This is a older way of writing in Devanagari itself. This is also Devanagari. So this is just a bit older way. The new way of writing you know already, right? Like this. So this is same . So here the verb is ancha. Now this indicates the verb group of the verb. Va means vadigana, group of the verb in dhatu patha. This is the first group, and then this means something what there is other classification of the verbs, and this is the English meaning is given in this particular book. Not all the books give that. And to go or to worship. Then the present tense forms are given here. Only like Uttama Purusha, the third person is given here. Anchati, third person, that also Ekavachanam. Anchati, it's a reverse actually, not third person, sorry. This is Ekavachanam is given only. Anchami, first person, second person, and third person. So in this order it is given. So, but In Sanskritam, we you know that already the verbs are written, the forms are written first the third person. Gacchati, gacchata, gacchanti, gacchati, gacchataha, gacchata, gacchami, gacchava, gacchama. Like that, first the third person form, and then the second person, then the Uttama Purusha, first person they are written. But in this book, in this particular book, the order is in the English order, English grammar order type. First person, second person, third person. That way it is written here. So this second one is the imperative form, which is the pray or the praying or the order or the wish. That kind of form is there. Anchatu, like pachatu, gachatu, that form. Then there are other forms like anchat is the abhavat form, like apathat, abhavat. That form, that bhutatala, that is past tense form is there. Past tense verb form. Okay. Then there is a future, FU, we can see future form, future tense, which is a bhavishyati. If it is a bhavati, it will become bhavishyati. Similarly, anchati becomes anchishyati. So that form is given. And there are other forms also, which is right now not our focus of study. However, when coming to where is the past participle here, so you can see here, one is here PP, past participle. This is a past participle. So here it is given past participle anchitaha. Now anchitaha, this is a past participle passive format, passive voice. Like I think you know there are two voices. Like one is active voice and the passive voice. So when we say he is reading the book or the book is read by him, he is reading the book is the active voice and the book is read by him is the passive voice. So this past participle is given here. This anchita is a passive voice format. So what we are studying, that gatavan, gitavan, so those patitavan, patitavati, those are the active voice format. So what simply we need to do is, to this anchitaha, remove that visarga at the end and just add van or vati at the end. Anchitavan or anchitavati. This is how we can look up, find the active voice past participle form of any verb root. However, we need to know the verb root here first. So some of the verb roots are not straightforward, and this anchita example is simple. This is a straightforward root. Ancha is a verb root, and its present tense becomes anchati, etc. So this is easier to look up. But some of the verb roots, like for example, gacha, gachati, the verb root is gam. So those some things which we need to be aware of. It may not be as easy as this anchati. However, the way to look up for the past participle is look up here. Look here. So this one is passive voice, anchitaha. Just remove that visarga. Anchitavan, anchitavati becomes the active voice. Okay. And also you are seeing here IP. I don't know what is IP, something infinity or something maybe. But you know, this also we saw last time. Anchitva, gatva, something to say the person does the work after doing something else, some other action. So that format is called twa format. Twa, right? Twa format, or the original suffix is twa. This is nothing but ka, the vyanjanam or the consonant ka, and then there is twa. So together it is written like this. So, but we can also write it like this. Vyanjanam ka and then twa. This is the name of the original suffix which is in the Paninian grammar. But it undergoes some processing during the grammar steps, and finally this twa remains at the in the last step, and to the verb root this twa is added. So, and there is some other modification also. Then e also comes here. It is the verb root is ancha, or it becomes anchitva. So e also additionally added to some of the verb roots, not to all the verb roots. For example, we looked last time, if a boy after going to school, he reads a book. After going to school, he reads a book. Suppose there are two. That was also on the homework, right? Yeah, here. Aham chitra mandiram gacchami, aham chitram pashyami. So in this, what is happening? Two actions are happening. So there are two verbs actually. One is aham chitra mandiram gacchami. This gacchami is one verb and pashyami is another verb. So which action is happening first here? Gacchami. Going action is happening first. So this we want to convert into twa format. Twa format, and then combine these sentences to make one format. Note that if you want to combine the sentences, it is essential that in both the sentences the doer should be the same, the subject should be the same. Here it is aham. Aham. In both the cases, aham is doing the work, I is doing the work. If one sentence aham is doing the work, in the other somebody else, balaka chitram pashyati, aham chitramandiram gacchami, balaka chitram pashyati, then it doesn't make sense to join them. Only when one same person is doing the work in both the sentences, then we can join them using this twa format, and changing the first action into the twa format. So gacchami, so here this becomes gattva, right? So aham chitramandiram gattva means after going to the chitramandiram, the movie hall, aham chitramandiram gattva chitram pashyami. In the second, once you get this twa here, then in the second thing, in the second sentence, you can drop the aham word or the person who is doing. So there is no need to repeat that. Aham chitramandiram gattva, aham chitramandiram pashyami. You can use that, but it is redundant. So, aham chitramandiram gattva, chitram pashyami. That means I am only seeing the movie, watching the movie. Aham chitramandiram gattva, chitram pashyami. So the point is, in the Dhasa Kosha, where does this twa appear? It shows up in that IF in this book. Okay? So where this is there, you can say anchitva here. It is not anchatva or anchitva or something like that. In some verbs, there is no e in this when we add twa, and for some verbs there will be e added here when we in the twa format. So anchitva means after worshipping.
Guruji, what I have for this one here, aham chitra mandiram gacchami, aham chitram pashyati. But I started with having gone to the picture house, chitram mandiram. Then I use aham chitram pashyati. Is that right? Having gone to the, having gattva, yeah. Having gone to chitra mandiram, then after I use aham chitram pashyati.
No,
is that correct?
No, pashyati should not be there because the action is being done by aham. The watching action is being done by whom? It is being done by aham. So it should be Shami, not Pashyati.
Pashyami, yes, that's right, Pashyami. Right, okay.
Because the
with a pen.
watching action is not being done by Chitram. It is being done by aham still. Okay, so we finished this one. So similarly, Dhenuhu Vatsam Ahvayati. So here again, simple. You can look up the table here. Ahvayati becomes Dhenuhu. So now here Dhenuhu is first you have to know what is the lingam of the word. Who lingam of the word? Which word? The subject word. Who is doing the action? Dhenuhu Vatsam Ahvayati. Now Dhenuhu is calling the Vatsam. Vatsam is the calf, the small cow. Dhenu is the cow, and Vatsam is its offspring, the calf. Ahvayati, it calls. So here Dhenuhu is a Strilinga word. Now, how do we know that? Again, look up the. Obviously, cow is Strilingam, so you can also look up the dictionary. But Dhenuhu is a Strilingam word. So then Ahvayati, that if you want to change it to past participle, that will be in the Strilingam. So it will be, again, look up the table. It may not be very easily evident what is the form. So here it becomes Ahutavati. So here Ahuta, because it is Strilingam, Dhenuhu is Strilingam, it becomes Ahutavati. Dhenuhu Vatsam Ahutavati. It called the calf. The cow called the calf. So the next one, Veena, Simhaha.
Okay, sorry. Simhaha Vane Upavishati. Simhaha Vane Upavishtavan.
Yes. Good. So Simhaha Vane Upavishtavan. Upavishtavan. So note that here Ahvayati, Upavishati, in this there is a prefix also to the verb here. In the Ahvayati, only Hayati is the original part of it is present tense, but that is the Hayati is the original part of the verb. Here we are adding A to it. Okay? A. This is a prefix. This is a prefix to the verb. And in grammatical term for that is upasarga. Okay? Upasarga. This is just a term which is used. Upasarga means the prefix that is used before a verb. So the verb can be in present tense, past tense, future tense, or it could be in the qua format, maybe in the other formats also, it doesn't matter. So sometimes the upasarga is used and these prefixes, and the prefixes, when they are used, sometimes they change the meaning of the verb completely. Sometimes they do not change the meaning. Sometimes they just enhance the meaning to some extent. So Ahvayati, Hayati is also calling only. No, Ahvayati is also calling, same meaning. And then Simha Vane Upavishati. Here Vishati is just without Upa, that is a part, Vishati. Here we are adding Upa here. So only Vishati means entering. So suppose I am entering the house. So I just use Vishati. Now the next one, if you see, Nartaki Mandiram Pravishati. Here there is a Pravishati. So here Vishati is again the the main part here, the main portion. And then we are adding pra as a prefix to it. So this vishati means entering, and pravishati means also entering. Meaning is the same. But here upa, when we add upavishati, meaning changes to, it doesn't remain entering. Here it means sitting. Simhaha vane upavishati. Lion is sitting in the forest. But here the next sentence, Nartaki mandiram pravishati. This means Nartaki, the dancer, enters mandiram. Mandiram is a hall. So she enters a hall. So the meaning might change depending on what upasarga is used. Now, upavishati becomes upavishtavan. So note that when we change it to upavishtavan, or even the pravishtavan also, if the sha in this vishati changes to a different sha. Okay? The cerebral sha, upavishtavan. Like this. Upavishtavan or pravishtavan. Then you can add the upasarga, same upasarga, to the main part. So Vishtavan, only Vishati changes to Vishtavan, then you can add the upasarga, upavishtavan or pravishtavan. This change in the sha to sha happens because of sandhi rules, the joining rules between ta comes and all that. But right now just you can remember this, pravishtavan, etc. Upavishtavan, pravishtavati here. Nartaki mandiram pravishtavati, because Nartaki is feeling the word. So the next one, who wants to read it? Jessica, you want to read it?
Nartaki mandiram. Oh, this one? Okay. Chatraha pustakam.
It becomes Chatraha pustakam patitavan. Right? Patitavan. The past participle form becomes Chatraha pustakam patitavan. So then the next one is a question sentence here. Bhavan karyalayam gacchati kim? Do you go to the workplace or office? Bhavan karyalayam gacchati kim? So here Bhavan is used for saying you in the male. Pullingam you Bhavan karyalayam gacchati kim? So again gacchati, the past participle here is gatavan. So Bhavan karyalayam gatavan kim? Have you gone to the office? Have you been to the office? So Shiva, any question in this first part? Yes, you can look up, the tables are here, or
yeah.
Dhatu Kosha is also, you can download. Here also you can look up for the past participle format of any other verbs which you can come across. Yeah.
Guruji, I have two questions. Chatraha pustakam patati. Can't we change patati to apatat?
Yes, that is possible. So this is one form we are looking at, that's the past participle. The other one is, if you want to use the simple, the past tense, yes, you can use for all the sentences. Which
right, because I have both. I have apatat and I have patitavan. The next one is Bhavan Karyalayam Gachati Kim. I have for Gachati, I have two as well here. I have Agachat, which is the past tense, and Gatavan. So both can be used here.
Yeah. So one is Bhavan Karyalayam Agachatim. So that is still there. I mean, those are the ones. I mean, those are the real past tense verb formats, right? Agachat, like apatat, agachat. Those are still. And Giovanni has actually in his homework sheet he sent to me. He has written both very nicely. So you can write it for all of them. That is still valid. Like Gayati becomes Agayat. So then this Raika Bhavat is still there. Now Shrunoti becomes what? No. So those things, Shrutavan, now those things again you can look up. Same thing in the dictionary. You can look up and find out. Now the question comes if there is a prefix here. Prefix. Now prefix, if it is there, then slightly it is different. Now if it is a past participle, then it becomes Ahutavan, because Fayati, that is the original form, that becomes Hutavan. Vishati becomes Vishtavan. So then you add Upavishtavan. So what the rule remains the same. Rule is that first you change the base part into whatever form you want. You want it into the simple past tense form or the past participle form. Any form you can change it, even the Kva form also. Once you get that other form of the base part of the verb, after that you add the prefix to it. For example, Upavishati. So if you take that Upavishati, Vishati is the base, right? This is a without upasarga or without prefix. This is a form. So if we change this to simple past tense, like abhavat or agachat, what will this become? This becomes, Vishati becomes avishat, right? This becomes avishat. Okay. So first to change that, after that we still have to add the upa to it, because upavishati is the thing we want to convert. Upavishati is the kriyapadam or the verb we want to convert. So first convert the base part vishati into other form avishat, and then to that you add upa. Then this becomes, there could be a sandhi here. Okay? There could be joining rules. Then upa plus, at the end of pa there is a sound is there at the end, and here this is starting with the sound. So a plus like together it becomes elongated and it becomes a. So upa plus vishat becomes upa vishat.
Yeah, that's right. Aksharanam dirgha.
Upa vishat. So this is something we need to be aware of when there is a upasarga or when there is a prefix. And we can't just, this will be there, like in the simple past tense, agachat, avishat. So will be there. The will not come before the prefix. Will be after the prefix. First will be added to the base part, then the prefix is added. Okay. So for example, this pravishati, in this you take pravishati, again vishati, if we change it to simple past, it becomes avishat, right? Avishat, that remains same. And then pra, pra we want to add it. Pra is the upasarga or the prefix. And this becomes pra plus a becomes pra. Pra vishat. Right? Pra vishat. Pravishati in its simple past tense form becomes pravishat, or in the past participle active voice form it becomes pravishtavan or pravishttavati depending on the lingam. But this pravishat doesn't have a lingam. It is for every lingam it is same because it is a verb form. Okay. Then the twa, coming to twa, chitramandiram gacchami. Chitramandiram gatva chitram pashyami. Now, bhavan asane upavishati, bhavan dugdham pibati. So, asane upavishati. So, here actually we did not cover this part last time. So, I think by mistake I added copy pasted this from some other exercise. So, here the upasarga is there, the prefix is there. So, here the twa is not added. There is a different different suffix is added. So that we will see today. So these two things we'll see today. Sorry for that. So this chalayati, there is no prefix. The chalayati, we can just becomes chalayitva, just like gacchami becomes gatva. So this becomes chalayati becomes chalayitva. These are in this list given there. Now sahaj vahanam chalayati, chalayati becomes chalayitva, means after driving. Saha vahanam chalayitva apanam gacchati. That is a simple sentence, combined sentence you can make. Saha vahanam chalayitva means after driving the vehicle, he goes to the apanam. Apanam is shop. Apana is a shop. Apanam means to the shop. So now continuing this same twa format which is used to indicate after having done or after doing that work. So if we continue that, now if there is a upasarga, if there is a prefix like upavishati or pravishati or even afayati, because there is a prefix. How does it look like? So instead of adding here. So here what we have, and this should be alpha. So here balakah mitram afayati anantaram balakah kridati. So here we are adding another different suffix called lep. Okay, lep. So here lep again like twa. The twa during the grammatical processing it changes to twa. This lep changes to just ya. Just ya remains there. So, but this lep is added or ya is added, ya suffix is added only when there is a prefix to the verb. So when we have balakah mitram afayati, there is a prefix, then we should not add the twa as the suffix to afayati. We should add ya. So when we add ya, then it simply changes to ahuya. Ahuya. So the combined sentence becomes balakah mitram ahuya kridati. Okay. Then this becomes grahakah. Grahaka means the customer. Apanam prapnoti. Anantar means afterwards. What does he do? Grahakah pustakam krinati. He buys the book. So grahakaha, the customer, apanam prapnoti becomes prapya. Prapya. Now if there is no prefix, here the prefix is pra. Okay. Pra is prefix like pravishati. So if there is no prefix, just the original base part is apnoti. Apnoti. So if it is just apnoti, then the twa is added. Twa is added. So if the twa is added, then it becomes aptva. Like shrutva, shrunoti, it is apnoti. Like shrutva, shrunoti, when we add twa, it becomes shrutva. So similarly, apnoti, when we add twa, it becomes aptva. Okay. Ap, and then twa. Okay. So it becomes aptva. Then, but because there is a pra here, so we cannot add twa. So the prapnoti becomes prapya. So this is simple. Grahaka apanam prapya pustakam prinati. Right? Then the similar next one we had upavishati. So here upavishati, if it is only vishati, it becomes vishtva by adding twa. But here it becomes munihi asane upavishya. Upavishya because of the prefix upa. Upavishya japati. Similarly, there are other examples here. Uttishtanti, balika. And this is the example of uttishtanti is the bahuvachanam, plural. And here, even if there is a plural, the twa remains same. This does not change, right? Whether it is uttishtati or uttishtanti, when we add the ya or twa, the form does not change. It remains. It changes into a noun which is indeclinable. Balikaha utthaya. After rising, balikaha devam pujayanti. Okay, next one. Shiva, you want to read?
Yes, sorry.
Yes. Shiva? Can't hear you. I think there is some problem with the mic. Okay. Anybody, Giovanni?
Okay. Bhavan lekanim anayati. Anantaram Bhavan lekati. Then we have Bhavan lekatim aniya. Lekati.
Yeah.
Likati.
Lekanim aniya likati. So anayati changes to aniya. So if it is only nayati, what it would have become? What will it become? Only nayati. Nayati is the without prefix. We are adding here anayati. Note that here the meaning changes. Nayati. What is the meaning of nayati?
Nayatva brings.
Brings. Anayati. Nayati is takes, right? Anayati brings. Nayati is carries towards the other direction. Nayati. Anayati is towards us, brings towards us. So Bhavan lekhanim anayati. So if it is only nayati, then it becomes, if you add twa to it, it changes to
Nitva.
Because
I see since it becomes niya with the anayati, so Nitva.
Yeah. Ni is the verb root here. Dhatu is ni, so you're just adding twa to it. Ni twa. Present tense is nayati, but if you add twa, it becomes ni twa. And then similarly, if there is a prefix, then it just becomes a ni ya. You're just adding ya to it. Aniya. That is aniya. Okay. Okay, the next one. Panika. Giovanni, you can continue.
Apanekah danam svikaroti. Anantaram apanikah abharanam dadati. I don't know the meaning of many words.
Apanika. Apanaha is a shop. Apanika is a shopkeeper. One who owns the shop is Apanika. Dhanam, money. Then Svikaroti. Svikaroti is he accepts, takes, or accepts.
No, takes. Yeah.
Svikaroti. Only karoti is does, and we are adding a prefix Svi here. Svikaroti.
So it becomes Svikrutya.
Yeah. If it is only karoti, then what will be the form? We are adding twa to it.
Krutva.
Yeah, krutva. But because there is a prefix, it becomes svikrutya. Similarly, suppose if you add upa is also can be added to kru. Kru is a dhatu here. So kru in the present tense becomes karoti. Karoti is a common verb we know. Karoti. Sah balakah karyam karoti. Aham karyam karomi. This we know. Now, karoti, if we add the twa, it becomes krutva. But whenever we add any prefix, then it changes. We have to add ya. So here the example given is svi krutya. Then if it is upa karoti is also what? Upa karoti means he does a favor. Upa karoti.
What does it mean? Sorry. What does it mean? Sorry, I didn't hear.
He does a favor. Somebody does a favor to you. That is upa karoti. So we can loosely say favor. Favor may not be the exact right word. So suppose he is doing something good to you. That is upakaroti. Without expecting any return. That is why it is called upakaroti. So because we are adding upa, so same thing. The krutya will be after upakrutya.
Upakrutya.
After doing the favor, upakrutya. So apanikah dhanam svikaroti, anantaram apanikah abharanam. Abharanam is the ornament, something like jewelry or something, or the bangle or jewelry, earring, anything. Ornament is abharanam. Dadati, he gives the ornament. Apanikah dhanam svikrutya abharanam dadati. Then mata vichintayati. Anantaram mata bhojanam khadati. So here chintayati, if it is only chintayati, what will be the twa form here? If you add twa, chintayati is the present tense, right?
Chintva.
Chintayitva.
Chintayatva.
Chintayitva.
Because it has the ya verb.
if you add twa, we are doing chintayati changes to chintayitva. In the present tense, it is chintayati. Okay. Chintayati. But when we add twa, we remove this ti and just add twa there. Chintayitva. But if there is a prefix, it becomes vichintya. We are adding vi. Vichintayati. Vichintayati is also same. Chintayati means what? Thinking. Right? Mata vichintayati means thinking. Vichintayati means it is enhanced meaning of thinking. So she thinks well. I mean, she thinks properly and then takes the next action. Mata vichintayati. Mata vichintya. Bhojanam khadati. She eats the food. Okay. The next one, Vivekananda. Want to read the next sentence? Vivekananda.
Sorry, I was on mute and I was reading the Nauka Tiram Agachati Anantaram Nauka Gachati Nauka Tiram Agatya Gachati.
Yeah, this
So the boat comes to the river. Anantaram Nauka, then it goes. Nauka goes. Nauka Tiram, having gone with the boat, then he goes. Gachati, he goes.
Here Tiram is like a bank or the shore of something. Shore of like a lake shore or the seashore, something. Seabank. So Tiram, that is Tiraha. So Tiram is that shore. So Nauka, boat. Tiram agachati, it comes to. Agachati is coming. Right? So, agachati, it comes to the banks of the river or something. Then it goes. It goes again. It continues the journey in that sense it is used here. So Nauka Tiram agatya, after coming to the shore, it goes. So, okay, the next one. Next sentence, please.
Saha denam pradattavan anantaram saha griham gatvan. Saha dhanam padaya griham gatvan. Screen is moving. Where are we now?
Hold on. So just trying to zoom it better.
Okay, that's better. Alright, there it is. So let me see it. Hi.
Okay, so we are here. Saha dhanam dattavan. So these are the examples of, this is the example of past tense. Bhutakala pradattavan. So if it is dattavan, it becomes, if it is only dattavan, what does it change to? We are going to add twa, because dattavan does not have the prefix. So only dattavan is the word. Saha dhanam dattavan. So we are using the prefix. Without prefix. So we are adding the twa as a suffix. So dattavan becomes dattva. Yeah? Right? Dattva. Saha dhanam dattva gruham gatavan. After giving the money, he went home. So if it is without the prefix, but if you add pra, then we have to add ya. Then it becomes pradaya, not pradaya. The pradaya, because da is the verb root here. Da is the verb root. So to the verb root we add ya. Pradaya. Saha dhanam pradaya graham gatavan. So you can see the difference. Tattva and pradaya. So pradaya, pradaya also means the same, like what is the dattva, means after giving. Pradaya, pra just enhances the meaning. Pradaya, after giving it nicely.
So having given wealth, he went home.
Yeah, he went home. There is just a side note here. So to this dattavan, dadati, if you add pra as a prefix, then it just enhances the meaning. It doesn't change the meaning. But there is like nayati. Nayati and anayati, there are opposite words, right? Nayati means taking, carrying. Anayati is bringing. So similarly here, if for the dadati, if you add it reverses the meaning. Dadati is giving, dadati is taking. So saha dhanam, if we have here, it becomes adaya. Adaya means after taking. Pradaya means after giving. Saha dhanam pradaya graham gatavan, after giving the wealth. Saha dhanam adaya graham gatavan, after taking the wealth, he went home. So that reverses the meaning there. Okay, the next one, Rama.
Rama jalam aneshyate, anantaram Rama bhojan karishyate. Rama jalam aniya bhojanam karishyate.
So this nayati anayati is already on the top there. This is just to show that even if you use the future tense, the twa or ya form, or the left form, does not change. It remains same. So aneshyati, in the future she brings the jalam. Rama is somebody's word, somebody's name. Then aniya, after bringing, bhojanam karishyati, she will do the eating. Okay. So is there any question on this left or the swa suffix?
Masterji, ni, for example, I notice you have to use the usable form of the dhatu. Because if you take ni now comes on the murda form, isn't it? The original dhatu of panini is the original ni, but it's been changed into the dantani.
Yeah.
Na.
Yeah. I mean,
so we have to get a book whereby we have the usable form of the dhatu.
Right.
Like pa, for example. That's the original dhatu, but it becomes pibati.
Yeah. Pibati is in the present tense in some form, not in, like, for example, in future tense, it doesn't remain piba. It becomes pasyati. So that pibati is a special case, like gacchati, pibati. There are some verbs which in present tense and some other tenses, like in the imperative mode and also in the simple past tense, and there is one more mode. In that, in those four different forms, there have some special forms, like pa dhatu becomes pibati, gam dhatu becomes gacchati, etc. But in general, future tense and other, like 6 forms, there are 10 different forms of verbs. The 4 forms, 3 forms we know, I think, like one is present tense and the other one is the simple past, then the imperative, 3 we know. There is another one called vidhi ling, which is not in the scope of this course, maybe next L2. So there also it changes to gaccha, the pa changes to piba. But in other 6 different forms, including the future tense, which we know already, like bhavishyati, etc., it does not change the form. Gam remains gam, gamishyati. It doesn't become gachishyati, gamishyati. So pala means pasyati. So those are the special cases for the some of the verbs. But what you are saying is a different thing. There is, as per the Paniniya Dhatu Kosha, Dhatu Patha, the Panini gives the original form of these dhatus in a different, slightly different format. Like for example, gum. Gum is before that very raw format as per the Panini. Again, this is a Paniniya grammar. They are not. They are all. Panini has constructed them. There is not the feature of Sanskrit language itself. It's a Paniniya grammar thing. Yeah. They are the fictitious roots formed by Panini to facilitate a grammatical procedure, steps. And then he defines the rules, how those original raw forms need to come into the usable forms. So those are the things. I mean, for example, gum he defines as gamlu. That is his original form. Yeah. Gum and then lu. Gamlu. So
that's what I've seen. That's right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've seen in the.
Yeah. So those are the more grammar thing, but yeah. But generally for our usage and general thing, we start with gum. Okay? We just start with gum as our root, not gamlu. We can in the next advanced stage of grammar steps. But, Okay. So, and even this Dhatu Kosha, this particular book gives the simple form, not the Panini original Dhatu Patha form, okay, which is easier to read.
Sanjeevji?
Yeah.
I had some struggle doing this homework this time. What happened is, because we are using the Bodhini book, so I tried to go back and kind of revise. So these slides, they are not available yet, right? Like the book is not available yet, right?
Yeah. See, one is this. These are the examples. The examples are not putting on the slide. So
yeah,
if you
because for me practice, that's why.
If you go to this list here, the most commonly used, most commonly means there are many more which are most commonly used, but some of them are here in this list. So you can refer to this list and then change them. But now, I also showed how to use the Dhatu Kosha here, and other than those which are on the list. If you want to look up other dhatus or other verbs, you can go to this Dhatu Kosha and look up. Now, other than that, the book itself is available.
Oh, so we can, because it said September 12 or something.
It is available. Actually, the link was in that class emails, in the link. So, but it is not necessary to procure the book. If you don't want it, that's fine. You can refer to the other list.
I want the book.
That's fine. Whoever wants to, they can go for it. Yeah. But otherwise, they can go. The things are available here, right?
Okay. Also, like the downloadable slide doesn't contain the past tense table.
Which one? This one?
No, the downloadable slide, the one that we have a link on the study page.
Yeah, the link is this one only.
Oh, okay.
The link points to this list, and this list does not have the apachat, agachat. Those are not there, and those are not in the book also. The book because the book, the scope for the starters is supposed to be just this past participle format, like Gatavan, etc.
Okay.
So it gives this form, only this form, and even this table, this table is also in the book. I've included this also in the book.
Okay.
Under different lessons. Under present tense, I have included the present tense list, and the past participle, future, twa, left, like that.
Yeah. I also have one confusion I would like to clarify. You know, when in the sentence we have the sma, the sma converts the sentence into the continuous form. Is it, or does it change it from present to past? I had the impression sma changes the sentence into the continuous, like present to present continuous, past to past continuous. Is it that way, or does it change a sentence from present to past?
It changes the question here is, this is a different topic. Let me go to this
No,
one.
I was looking at the video and then I got a bit confused about that.
Also, FYI, in the book itself, in wherever possible, at least one of the sentences to illustrate, I added the English meaning also. So that will be helpful for people who are reading. That gives some background context. So, but anyway, coming back to your question. Sma. So last time we studied Sma, and the time flies. It's about 8:30. Okay.
Okay, we can clarify it later. Just continue with the class. I'll clarify with you later, like on WhatsApp or something. It's okay.
What is that?
I'm saying we can clarify it later.
No.
You can continue on with the class.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is just a general observation. It was just like half an hour, but I looked at the clock. It's already okay. So the Sma. We studied last week that we added Sma to a present tense sentence. So, for example, let's take the Pathati only. So, Balakaha Pustakam Pathati is a sentence. Okay? So, when it is Balakaha Pustakam Pathati, that means the boy reads a book, and also it means boy is reading a book. In Sanskritam, there is only one present tense. It also means continuous. There is no separate continuous present tense. But when we add Sma to that kind of sentence, it changes the meaning to past tense. Okay? So when you say Balakaha Pustakam Pathati Sma, then it changes it to the form which is like a past continuous or used to, like, for example, when you say Balaka Pustakam Pathati Sma, boy was reading the book, or boy used to read the book. Depending on the context, we have to get the meaning. The boy was reading the book. Balakaha, suppose you visit somebody's house and you see the boy reading there and come back and telling it to somebody, right? And that what you saw there. So then you can use that Sma there. Okay? So when you say, for example, Balakaha Pustakam Pathati, suppose you come back and telling it to your friend that what you saw in the school or house, Balakaha Pustakam Pathati means he is reading. But if you change it to Apathat, which is simple present tense, Apathat, it means he read. He read the book. Pathitavan That also means he read or he has read. Yeah. So, but you want to say he was reading, because when you went there, he was reading. Then you use this sma with patati, not apatat sma, not patitavan sma.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we are using apatat, we don't use sma.
Yeah, was reading.
When we have apatat, like it's already in the past tense, then we
Yes.
don't put sma.
Yes, no.
Sma only goes with the present.
Yes.
Okay.
Sma goes with the present tense form, simple
Okay.
present tense form, and it changes the meaning to past tense, continuous past or used to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
let's start the next one quickly. Next topic, Sankhya, numbers. Okay. So the numbers. One, two, three, four, five. So here, where is? Oh, here the sheet. Yes. So here you can see the different numbers. Now, in English, it is simple, right? So if we just want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, we just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So 1 is 1. That writing as a digit is different, but it is pronounced or said as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Right? 3, 4, etc. So just let me write it in the Roman numerals here. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Is it Roman? No, I don't know what it is. In the English language, you write it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. So now, in Sanskritam, this is kind of interesting. So what happens here is, 1 is generally you can say eka, or so actually the numbers becomes adjectives in Sanskritam. They becomes visheshanam or adjectives. So they because when we say there is a tree, and when we say there is a one tree, when we say there is something one, that means that one and the tree is the same thing, right? That is how the adjective is defined. Adjective it is a qualifier, or it is a subset of something. When we say a blue flower, that means the flower is blue. The flower, when we say blue flower and blue, there are many blue flowers. One of them is blue. Sorry, there are many blue things. One of them is flower. That way you can think. Or there could be many flowers. One of them is blue. So this is like one is subset of the other thing. So that is how the Visheshanam is used in Sanskritam. That is why Visheshanam's Linga, Vibhakti, Vachanam has to be, most of the times it has to be same as the one which it is qualifying. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is a simple way of saying this in English. But when it comes to Sanskritam, 1, Eka is the base word, and it changes its lingam, vachanam, vibhakti depending on what it is qualifying. So let's right now focus only on the prathama vibhakti. It could be in the other vibhaktis also. But let's say we want to say one ball. Let's say one ball, or one tree. Let's say one tree. So for tree we have rukshaha. For tree we have rukshaha. So eka, then it has to be lingam. Lingam of rukshaha is pullingam. So eka will also be in pullingam. So it becomes ekaha vrikshaha. Ekaha vrikshaha. This we need to remember. And obviously, when we want to say something is one, it cannot be in dvivachanam or bahuvachanam. Right? It has to be always in singular. So there is no problem with the number here. It is always singular, eka. But the lingam can be different. Ekaha vrikshaha. So if it is a strilingam, like balika, let's say balika, then this ekaha becomes eka. Eka balika. Okay. Eka changes to eka to comply with this visheshanam. This balika is a strilingam. Then similarly, suppose it is phalam. Phalam is napunsaka. Then this becomes ekam. Ekam phalam. So this is something we need to remember when using eka. Now what about dvi? Dvi is the base word for two. But for when we are saying attaching it with a pullinga word, what is the dvivachanam of vriksha? Like Rama. What is
vrikshav?
Vrikshav. Vrikshav. So if it is vrikshav, then it becomes dvav. Dvav vrikshav. And if it is a strilingam, it is dve. Dve, let's say balike. Dve balike. And if it is napunsaka also, it remains dve. Dve phale. Phale is the dvivachanam form of phalam. Dve phale. Balika is singular, balike is dual. Balike. Dve balike, dve phale. So, dau vrikshav dve balike dve phale. This is how we have to use. This is again, remember, this is prathama vibhakti. But because we are saying two, it should be always, it will be always a dual number. It cannot be singular or plural. Dau is dual. So, dau vrikshav dve balike dve phale. Now, when it comes to three is the base word. And this is always used in bahuvachanam because three is three. It cannot be one or two. If it is vriksha, it becomes vrikshaha. Okay. Vrikshaha. But this three changes to trayaha in pullingam. Trayaha vrikshaha. Then in strilingam it changes to tisraha. Tisraha balike. Balikaha, right? Because balika is the plural of balika. Then in napunsaka it becomes treeni. Treeni phalani. So this is the same thing is shown in this table here. Again, we'll look at this in more examples next week. But if you look here, you can see the table. Here in the table you see ekaha, eka, ekam. So this is the other vibhaktis. For now you can ignore them. Ditya, tritiya, etc. But if you see the first row here, ekaha is pullingam and eka, strilingam, ekam, napunsaka. Similarly, dvau, pullingam, dve, strilingam, dve, napunsaka. And trayaha, pullingam, tisraha, and treeni. And similarly for four also we have, based on the lingam, there are three different forms. Chatvaraha in pullingam, chatvaraha vrikshaha, chatasraha balikaha, and chatvari phalani, four fruits, chatvari phalani, like that. However, from pancha, 5 onwards, there is no change in the form based on the lingam. So in every lingam, whatever the lingam of the other word is, it is the same thing. Pancha, shat, Sapta, Ashta, Nava, Dasha. So this is simple. Only Eka, 1, 2, Dvav, 2, Trayaha, that is 3, is Trayaha, Trisaha, and Chatvari. 1, 2, 3, 4. Based on the lingam of the other word, the forms are different. But Pancha, Shat, 5 onwards, the forms are same. Okay? All along, everywhere, onwards. Pancha, Shat, Sapta, Ashta, Nava, Dasha is up to 10. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then, and also there other vibhaktis are given. But here, Ekadasha, Dvadasha, this is I have given just 11, 12 here. 11, Dvadasha is 12, Trayodasha 13, Chaturdasha 14, etc. So here, how do we use it? Suppose there are 15 or say 10 trees. Then we use just Dasha. Dasha, Rukshaha. Dasha, and there are suppose 10 girls. Dasha, Balikaha. And 10 fruits, Dasha Phalani. So there is no change in Dasha, depending on the lingam of others. Similarly, Ekadasha, same thing. Ekadasha, Rukshaha, Ekadasha, etc. So the same thing. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, based on the lingam, it changes. And there are 20 onwards, there are other, this is up to 19. Ekadasha, Dvadasha, etc. 11, 12, 13, up to 19. No, there is Ashtadasha missing here. Ashtadasha or Ashtadasha is missing. Navadasha is 19. And then Vimshati, because I just typed it today. Vimshati, etc. This is 20 onwards. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. These individually they have the vibhaktis also. But and those can be figured out based on how these look like. Others look like, but Vimshati, Ekavimshati, these also do not change the form based on the lingam of the other word. So it is Vimshatihi Balakaha or Rukshaha, Vimshatihi Balikaha, Vimshatihi Phalani. It means the same thing. So this is the entire 20 to 99. The list is given here, 20, 21, 22, 23, etc. This is 29. And this is Trimshat is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. That is 89. And I think there is one more column which, yeah, Navatihi. There is one more column, Navatihi, that is 90, and Namanavati is 99. So these are the forms of numbers which we'll practice next week. But then after 100, after 99, there is 100 which is given here. 100 is Shatam. So that also does not change the form, Shatam, and then there is 1,000, 10,000, etc. The multiples of 10. Any question? Let me fix this.
Sanjeev, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I had to change the headset. I don't know, the one I had before was not working. The homeworks, and Sanjeev, I know you explain it at length there, explain all of them at length, but is it possible you can share like what the answer, the suggested answer should be?
Sure. So, yeah. Can anybody else want to share? Like Giovanni want to share? You can just post it to the WhatsApp group. Giovanni has already completed this one. I have seen that.
Yes, I can share if it's needed. Yes.
So I think there was one correction, right, in that?
Yes, there was. I wrote Vane and was Vanan instead. The last sentence.
Okay, Vane. Okay, that was the.
Denuhu Vane Gatva was Vanam.
Yeah. So after that, if you can correct it and please. Otherwise, I'll just type it and share it. Do you want to share it? Is it possible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Can do it later, maybe, because right now I don't know if I still have the pictures. I might have to take the pictures.
That's fine at your convenience. So the other question I